Alrighty guys, so I'm basically doing an engine swap on my 2001 Mustang GT. Something happened and threw a rod and I got a rod knock. Now, at first I thought it was just an issue, but I found just a sound issue, and I found out that actually up here, these plastic chain guides in here, when they get old, they snap and get brittle and whatnot, and basically they just heat up and get super brittle and then they break. Anyways, you can see in here that you have a piston, a tensioner piston, and that's ran by oil pressure. So when that chain guide grinded all the way through from the chain, it destroyed, and this is all replaced in my car, so this is all brand new. I just replaced it. And basically the chain will run straight through that tensioner piston and put metal flake or shavings into your oil. When that happens, you're gonna clog up all the passageways of oil into your block, throughout the block, etc., things like that, and then worse things will happen. You could screw up your cams, your valve train, all kinds of stuff. But what happened with me is, you can see in here, this is the oil pan. Everything gray you see there is metal. It's metal flake. It's little shavings of metal that's just floating around here in the oil. And you see that's that becomes a major problem. That's all fine ground. That's what made it through and was floating around the oil pan. Now you get here to the oil pump and you have your oil pump system, and you look at your oil pump and you can see on here, this is all metal shavings. Well, was metal shavings and is now, this is the bearings in your rods. So if you have that problem, that's what you're looking at. That's pretty much why. And so in your camshaft here, or in your crankshaft here, each one of these rods has a bearing on the inside of it, and what you see this metal flake in here is, that's pieces of all the bearings. Now when you get in here, this is a good couple signs of it would be the caps right here. Your caps would be black, they would look burnt, or they would be super loose. Now mine aren't that loose, but you can kind of hear it kind of clicking. So basically, when your engine is running and it's going clack, 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 that's what you're hearing. And every single one of the caps on the rods in my engine here on the 4.62 valve for the Mustang is it's shot. All of the bearings are done. So I went out and I actually pulled the engine, because I already knew essentially what it was. Pulled the tranny, everything. I went out, got a brand new one. That I actually bought mine through AutoZone. I'm sure you could probably get it through O'Reilly's and other distributors like that, just normal stores. But anyways, it comes with all brand new guides, brand new chain. It's already timed. The cams are already good. New stuff like the rear main seal, that's new. The heads have gone through. I've got new valves, new cam, new crankshaft. It's essentially what you would call a long block. Comes with everything, including the timing cover and the oil pan, and everything's brand new. You just got to swap over your valve covers, all your sensors, bolts, intake manifold. You do have to swap over your water pump, but essentially it's the same, or it's just a simple way to swap. It is kind of pricey, especially for someone who owns this car, where the street value in my area is still about, you know, $4 grand. But with a brand new motor with 0 miles, and my transmission does have only about 30,000, because I did replace that recently, it'll shoot the street value up in my neighborhood around 12 grand. So up from 4 grand to 12 is a pretty good jump for something that cost me, with both the engine and the transmission, 6 grand. So So it's a pretty good deal going. Anyways, so that's what that sound is. Also, I wanted to show you guys, I know the torque converter removal on the automatic transmissions, which is what I have. The torque converter is a pain in the butt to get loose. When you have the pan on, it drops to about here. Now, and it comes up all the way up against this wall. Now you can only imagine that the bolt right here would be fairly difficult to get out. Now, or it's actually a nut. There's a stud that comes through here and there's a nut. Now, to remove the transmission, you have to do that. You can't just pull the torque converter off, or it's gonna mess up the fluid pump in the ATF. Manual transmission's much more different. You just have to clear the clutch. You're fine. Anyways, so either you can drop the pan, and like how I did it before I was unfortunately surprised that this cap right here that everybody's like, oh man, I don't know what the hell that thing does. It basically, if I can get it off here, it opens up. That right there would be where a stud is. So it opens it up. You can use an impact, a cheater wrench, a breaker bar with a deep socket and just get in there and take it off. It's that simple. I didn't realize that until about 30 minutes ago. But, so it's a good thing for people to know if you're looking at doing this project here. I mean, I don't think I missed anything for the most part for where I'm at. Just remember, you do on the long blocks, if you're swapping it over, you do have to take all the pulleys and assembly off the front. Power steering, AC, all stays in the car. That's pretty much what I did here. The power steering I actually took out because I actually wanted to clean it out and get new fluid in there. I also removed the radiator because I was pulling the transmission with the engine. But your AC, I didn't want to disconnect any lines, so I just unbolted that. That's 3 bolts. Actually, no, that's 4 bolts. AC is, or sorry, excuse me, that is AC. Power steering, 4 bolts as well. There's 1 bolt behind the pressure line on the AC. It's your top left line. And when you're looking at the pump, and I don't know where I put it. Basically this line right here, there's a pressure line that goes in right here, and there's a bolt that comes out here, and the line comes and elbows out over top of it. Okay, so when you run into that problem, if you're unbolting it before you unbolt all the other ones, you're gonna press that the power steering pressure line out, and you're gonna eventually crack it and break it. And then, I mean, at AutoZone, I think we got mine, because it happened to me, we got mine for, I think it was 40 bucks, 30, 40 bucks for the brand new line. So it wasn't bad, but it does set you back a little bit. So just keep that in mind. Anyways, if you have any questions, just hit me up and just ask away. I mean, I've been working top to bottom on this thing for a couple of years now, so I pretty much hit everything. I do not know how to rebuild an automatic transmission nor a manual transmission, so do not ask. Thanks.